Sunny 106.5, good morning. It is the AJ and Joanna Show. We've got Dr. Danielian on the line this morning, who is Director of Sports Cardiology at Las Vegas Heart Associates. Thank you so much for being on the show this morning.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, we've all been following the story with Damar Hamlin and that scary moment when he had a cardiac arrest on the field on Monday. And this was a very unique type of cardiac arrest.
I think the condition you're pretty much referring to is commotio cordis. And I feel like it's first and foremost very important to recognize that we really don't know the exact cause of his cardiac arrest at this time. But like you said, commotio cordis is a term that's been put out there extensively all across the nation as a potential cause of his sudden cardiac arrest. So what commotio cordis is a type of very rare cardiac arrest that occurs due to blunt, non-penetrable trauma to the chest wall directly over the heart, leading to a chaotic and a life-threatening abnormal heart rhythm called ventricular fibrillation. It mostly occurs in sports, either at the competitive or recreational level, and it's usually due to a hard projectile object like a baseball, hockey puck, or even a lacrosse ball that strikes the chest directly over the heart at the exact time in the cardiac cycle when the heart's vulnerable for a few milliseconds for this life-threatening arrhythmia to occur. And it has to occur at the exact right velocity, creating this perfect storm, if you will. Interestingly, it actually tends to occur mostly in young males, like usually the average age is 15 years old, when the chest wall and the ribs are still developing and hardening, and it's even rarer in those that are over 20 years old.
Wow, and that's interesting that you say it's more common younger, because a lot of stuff that I see on social media is people making comments and statements like, oh, my kid's never going to play football. Like, a lot of parents are really freaked out about this.
No, naturally, and it's understandable. It really creates this, psychological kind of trauma.
That's another reason why it's important to know about CPR, right?
Can you explain a little bit about what is hands-only CPR and how that can be helpful in situations?
This hands-only CPR that you're referring to is basically CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, without doing mouth-to-mouth breaths.
Right.
And it can be done by anyone to save a life. And it really is basically two steps to think of. So it can be one, first and foremost, calling 911, most important. So when you see a teen or adult collapse, you call 911, step one. Step two is you push hard and fast in the center of a person's chest who's collapsed to basically get the blood flowing. And anyone can do this, and that's why it's so important to be able to learn hands-only CPR.
Getting yourself educated on how to do it, where can people learn?
Great question. So there's various areas to learn this. So I love the American Heart Association avenues there. They have tons of information online. If you go to cpr.heart.org, you'll find wonderful CPR AED courses there. If you even Google CPR, you can go to YouTube and see that. The American Red Cross also offers CPR courses in person and online, as well as step-by-step instructions for those simply looking for a refresher.
We love our friends at the American Heart Association. We support them year-round, and just the importance, reminding people that heart health is so important, but of course, learning CPR, just in case you ever need to jump into a situation, so important.
I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but Dr. Danielian, you know your stuff.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you having me on.